passion, always. All right, who else? Oh yeah, you had a question.
So, how much of a difference is there between voice directing for an anime and voice directing for a video game? Because I know you did the voice directing for Borderlands 2.
I did. I was voice director for Borderlands 2, and of course I was the ADR director for a lot of anime. It's kind of goes back to what I was saying. You know, it's like directing. There's more required of the director in a video game than in an anime. The reason being, in an anime, you have an entire scene. You can look at the whole scene. The actor can watch the whole scene. And as a director, it is your job to communicate what's happening in the scene, you know, the proximity of this character to those characters around him or her. In a video game, it's a lot less like that. In a video game, a lot of the things that you record, especially in like Borderlands 2, you had two kinds of characters really. You had the fighting characters and then the NPCs, right? Non-playable characters. And those NPCs are hysterical. Most of it is just, you have dialogue and it's just, you just gotta get an actor in the booth to do that, to do their thing, you know? So my buddy Jeremy Inman, who played Android 16 in DBZ, and he's an ADR director. I directed him as an NPC in Borderlands 2, and he was a drunk guy. And I'm like, just be drunk, you know how to do that well. He's like, shut up. And so there's a lot of that going on, you know, and he's like, I don't know what to talk about. Huh? You know, and things like that. Those were takes, and I'd say, keep it, and we'd throw it into the program somehow, and I'd tell the Gearbox people, just make that work. And they did, and when you hear him walking around the city, it's hysterical. But then, you know, then you have the playable characters, or the bad guys, and all they are is just grunts and excerpts and fighting and shooting and whipping and all these activities, right? Which is very challenging for the actor, but as a director, there's just not much for you to do. So there are things that make directing a video game more fun than anime, but then there's things like story in a line-to-line basis in an anime, which makes that more fun to direct. So they each have their benefits, you know. All right, who else? Yes. Could I relate to any of the backstories of the characters I play? No. And that's where the acting comes in. That's where the training comes in. I really can't. I mean, you know, Kimberly's a genocidal maniac, and I've never even killed one person. Yugi? No, I have no basis of reference for that guy. Trunks? Everybody on Earth was killed. You're all here. I mean, you know, so not in anime. In anime, that's the thing. It's the anime is just a form of superhero show. It's dynamic characters and dynamic stories. I mean, I know that there are some like Free that are a little bit more based in reality and whatnot, but that's not what I get cast in. You know, I get cast in bigger, bolder type characters, which is great. They're fun to play, but I don't have much of a frame of reference. Like, I mean, like look at Sanji. You know, I'm not a pirate. I'm not crazy about being out on the water, but I do love to cook. So he and I have that in common, but he cooks things that, you know, aren't real. So it makes it difficult when you try to do that at home. All right, who else? Yes.
Have you always wanted to be an actor, like when you were real little?
I have always wanted to be an actor. I came from a Texas football family, and my dad thought I would be a sports star. So that's all I did for the first 10 years of my life. And then when I was 10, I sat him down and I said, I never, ever want to play sports again. I hate it, and please don't make me. And he was like, oh, okay, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be an actor. And he's like, well, huh? And for a few years, he just didn't know what to make of me until he saw me in my first play, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, you're way better at this than sports, so you should keep doing this."
I like football.
So, who else? Yes.
A lot of the characters in Back to Mongolian Top Squad played instruments. Do you play any?
I do not play an instrument, but I did play the trombone in middle school. I was always last chair, and I just wasn't very good at it. I'm not very musically inclined. You know, I can carry a tune if I need to, you know, if I'm in somebody. Or we wouldn't have, God, I mean, you're not seeing what I'm seeing, but we wouldn't have everything I'm looking at. You know, none of your clothes or sunglasses or shoes were designed by somebody who wasn't artistic. You know, these are all artistic people who did this. So when I was a kid, I was like, I can be an actor. I'm going to be an actor. And everyone said no, and all I wanted to do was act. So I dedicated myself to it from the age of 10. And I read books, and I took classes both in school and out of school. I researched on a near constant basis. I was a theater major once I got to college, and kept pursuing it, kept taking classes in school and out of school, and I would do plays at my school and at other universities or other theaters, both professional and community. I chased it as hard and as fast as I could until there was some success, which only led to me chasing it more. So it's hard to do this for a living, but I've never wanted to do anything else. And that's the kind of dedication that it takes in order to do this. Unless you can't think of doing another thing with your life other than being an actor, well then you can be an actor. You know, there's so many people out there, you know, like my son. My son is also an actor, okay? He's in grad school right now getting his teaching certificate. And that's to supplement his acting until it can take off, which is a smart way to go about it. But I've told him for years, since he was a kid, I was like, please be anything other than an actor. It is an incredibly difficult road. It's a hard journey, and it's such a challenge, especially when it comes to family, because you're not the only person who makes sacrifices, your family does too. He's so smart. My son read the book Dune in a day. That's like 1,000 pages. And he'll just zip, 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 retain the whole thing. He's highly intelligent, and yet he wanted to be an actor. And the reason he wanted to be an actor is because, like me, he can't see himself doing anything else. It's a hard thing, man. Is that what you want to do? Well, I'm sorry, now I gotta do this. Okay, I can see you now. How old are you? You're 19? Are you in college? Just started? Just walk over to their theater department. So it's like this, man. If get on a stage, you can anywhere. You're gonna have a community theater nearby where you can do it, or you got a theater at your school where you can do it. If you get on a stage and you perform and it gets its hooks in you, then chase it. But a lot of people I hear, and I'm not hearing this from you, but I hear from a lot of people, I don't really want to be on stage, I just want to be a voice actor. Well, that's kind of a recipe for failure. That's like saying, well, I don't want to learn how to cook, I just want to learn how to make spaghetti. Like, okay, you might make okay spaghetti, but you're not going to know how to cook anything else? It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So get on a stage. I think you'd be surprised at how much fun it is. You know, and hey, it might change the course of your life. Yeah. Yes, sir. What is up with that? Everyone keeps calling me sir. Not here. No, guys, I live in Dallas. I am the South. You know? But it's at home. Both my daughter and my son, like over the past 6 months have started calling me sir, and I'm like, I'm not, what is going on? And I go out there and everyone's like, yes sir. I'm like, you know what I think it is that I finally the gray is taking over my whole head. It's up in my hair, all over my beard, and now I look like a sir. Sucks. What? Dude? Yeah, dude's fine. I can dig dude. I don't dig dudes. But I can dig dude.